Fall out for October excitement on ESPN. NFL Dream season peaks as the best ever team is crowned at the Dream Bowl. The fall colors are spectacular on college football Saturdays. Top golfers shoot for the game's richest prize at the Nabisco Championships. The USA continues its battle for a World Cup soccer berth, while Olympic hopefuls seek a spot on America's World Championship gymnastics team. All in October on ESPN.
Hits your neighborhood. Warm up with a call for quiet, reliable, high-efficiency heating from Rhreem.
Call me Rhreem. Warm air of quality. Call me Rhreem.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
You're looking sharp, you're looking good. You've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Father to son, it's what we've always done. Gillette.
The Gillette Atra Plus system and Gillette Foamy Shave Cream, together the best a man can get.
The best a man can get.
In 1961, the fiberglass pole replaced the aluminum pole and broke the world record by 4 feet. In 68, the box construction's key resulted in a record number of gold medals. Since 84, the disc wheel has broken virtually every time trial record. Now Reebok has developed the energy return system of high-trell tubes that help propel the athlete forward. Who knows what records will fall next?
You're looking sharp, you're looking good. You've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Where the race is run, you're the champion.
The Gillette Atra Plus system and Gillette Foamy Shave Cream, together the best a man can get.
Glad to be in America, back in the good old USA. I've been missing my baby, the sweet green earth, and a pure simple meal made America's way.
A lean quarter pound pounder hot off the grill with crispy golden fries.
America's meat and potato.
I'm home. Oh, no.
That's McDonald's.
When a record is set, a controversy brews, or a headline maker speaks out, there's only one place that brings it all together. ESPN SportsCenter. Get the inside information on all the major events that shape the sports world. Every story, every detail, every day. For the complete picture, go straight to the source. ESPN SportsCenter, America's sports authority. You're watching ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
Control over that camera? Can we zoom out? I'd like to see how filled the stadium is. I've just gotten a monitor here outside. This place will hold 62,000. We're not playing baseball for a while, if at all, tonight. And apparently the preliminary reports of heavy damage, and you saw that picture of the Bay Bridge. You hesitate to call things a calamity and to put captions on it. We're only 25 minutes removed from the event. So, 25 minutes ago, Northern California rocked by what is apparently a major earthquake that has apparently caused damage. You have seen a live picture of a damaged, apparently collapsed section to the Bay Bridge. That was a picture from the Goodyear blimp that is here with ABC in coordination with ABC Sports covering the World Series. We have been told that the epicenter is out towards the East Bay, about 10, 15, 20 miles east of here on the other side of the Oakland Bay Bridge. And again, that is the bridge. There is no traffic on it. And that is just moments ago. That is not a live picture. And is that the San Mateo Bridge now, I'm being told? That is the San Mateo Bridge, not the Bay Bridge? Do I stand corrected on that? Are we sure of that? I'm told it's the Bay Bridge. Let's get this straight. It's the Bay Bridge. The Bay Bridge that has apparently sustained that damage. We just want to make sure that we have these facts correct. Well, we will endeavor to nail that down. We will be back. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We trust you will stay with us on this major story of a developing earthquake, the scope of which is not yet apparent. Baseball is well off the front page. There are many more important issues to talk about. We'll try to report them after this.
I've been working out for quite a few years now. I found it's easier to stay in shape when I do a lot of different things. That way I never get bored. So I never quit.
One Dry is brewed longer. One Dry is brewed from the most expensive ingredients. One Dry refreshes completely. One taste, and you'll know why. The One Dry is Michelob Dry.
A fiber that's pound for pound, 5 times stronger than steel, and is used in this bullet-resistant vest. Makes up the unique belt of Road Handler Treadlock radials. Great low prices, Road Handler tough. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
If you want to see the movie Cocktail on TV this fall, Showtime has it. HBO doesn't. Showtime also has My Stepmother is an Alien. HBO doesn't. Showtime exclusives. Here you see them, there you don't.
Here's another Chevy that really hauls on the track. Chevy Truck, the official truck of NASCAR. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. When the Sharper Image wanted an official vehicle that fit the lifestyles of their customers, they chose Chevy Truck over Ford. Maybe it was because of our Sharper Image. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
ESPN Outdoors. Oh, yeah. Enjoy 2.5 hours of fish and game entertainment every Saturday morning. ESPN Outdoors brings you 5 shows to help you fully understand and appreciate your prey and the environment they live in. ESPN Outdoors, Saturday morning starting at 7:30 Eastern, only on ESPN.
We are back live outside Candlestick Park, an ESPN special report. I'm Bob Lee. We are now 29 minutes removed from a major earthquake that has struck Northern California that has put the World Series in neutral. Again, if there was any confusion, we apologize for it. We have those blimp shots of the damaged Bay Bridge. It is the Oakland Bay Bridge from from San Francisco, basically the center of town, over towards Oakland. That is the bridge that has apparently sustained damage. Freeway has collapsed where? In Berkeley. We are relaying media reports, and that is the basis of these reports, and there is a fire is reported in Berkeley. All right, so that is where we stand. We have no reports of casualties. Again, the San Francisco Police Department has told us injuries, yes. Damage, yes. Fatalities, we do not know. It was approximately 25 minutes to the first pitch on the field when this earthquake occurred. And Candy Maldonado has been with the San Francisco Giants for several years, and even if you only spend 6 months of the year in Northern California, earthquakes are a way of life. Let's listen to his reaction to what happened.
We were down on the ground, and I was over there in my locker, and I hear this noise. And I remember Don Robinson was coming in. It sounds like an earthquake. And then this thing started to really. Yeah. I said, wait. As I said, the light went off. And the lights were going back and forth. It went off. And I just looked for the door out. I said, I'm ready to be outside. In a minute. Because everybody's trying to run. And it's pitch black in there. Yeah. Like not trying to.
So that was Candy Maldonado. With his reaction to what happened. Now, there are reports, excuse me just for a second, sir, guys, if you could give us just a little bit of room, that sections of I-80, which is an east-west highway, and 880, which is a north-south highway on the East Bay, that sections of those highways have collapsed. It has been felt, we're now being told, felt as far away as Los Angeles, reported locally as a 5.2. on the Richter scale, and again reported locally on KPIX as the strongest earthquake since 1906. I am going to hazard a guess, and it's totally just a guess, that we're not going to play baseball here tonight, given the scope of what has apparently occurred in this metropolitan area. There is no confirmation on that. There are still thousands. Joe, come on over. Joe Torre, who is analyzing with us, you just left the ballpark. How many people would you say if it holds 62? About half full still, or more than half full?
Probably half full. The thing that scared us, Bob, we were up top. We were about 5 rows from the top. We were sitting there, and it was really scary. And a lot of the people all have transistor radios, all trying to get some information. They said there's some major fires around town and part of the Bay Bridge, and it's frightening at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Have they made any announcement inside to the fans? They made an initial announcement about a minute after the quake. Have they made any further announcements inside?
There was nothing else said, but they still have no electricity. And without power, I'm sure they're not going to try to do anything, especially with what you mentioned, how disastrous this thing could be.
The scope is frightening. I'm sure we're going to work on getting some more player reacts. Thanks, Joe. Yeah. It's your first, it's my first, and it's apparently elements of tragedy to this earthquake that has occurred. And again, lost in all of this is that the quake did hit at the hush of the rush hour, even though the rush hour, Chris, come on in, the rush hour was probably less than usual. You and I were right up there, row 17 near the top. You've been out here a number of times. Bay Bridge, 5 o'clock, you know the area well, and we can just hazard a guess and say a prayer for what occurred on the collapsed section.
Yeah, I mean, rush hour, really any hour, Bobby. One thing that we weren't sure of, and I don't know what Joe just said, we were sitting there in the upper deck, and we looked back afterwards, and there were some cracks along the upper part. Now, some people who have season tickets who were sitting even behind us said that, oh, no, those were there. A couple other people weren't sure. I don't want to, kind of get anything going like there's a rumor that, oh, my God, the stadium is crap. Probably isn't, but there were some cracks up there. We've heard KGO reporting out here that, compared to what's going on the Bay Bridge, and we hear there's a major fire in Berkeley that I can't confirm. Maybe you've heard that already. We saw some smoke from over the bay here at Richmond where there's some refineries. KGO is saying that they're going to try and play the game, which at this point, kind of seems superfluous. I think most of the people, about half the people, are out of the stadium now. Not that they were fewer in when they gave the announcement. In case of an emergency, we're East Coast guys. We haven't been through a lot of these things, but nobody knows about aftershock. The players kind of were on the field, just kind of looking around, not sure what's going on. But I'd say about half the people are now out of the ballpark.
Baseball is not what we're thinking and talking about right
now.
No. They haven't made any announcements inside.
No. They haven't made any. I think everybody's just scrambling right now.
We have a picture, and we can maybe continue our discussion. This is a taped picture from Connecticut. They're going to roll it of what has now occurred within the last several minutes, and there it is. Oh, my Lord. There's a very dramatic picture, and that was at rush hour, and there are no rescue vessels or vehicles in sight, and I don't know how many thousands of vehicles a day travel that bridge, and I'm going to walk right over to the monitor and try and eyeball that with you at home. I mean, you can see the damage there. A Caltrans bus that stopped to the left there just short, a compact car. The top section, it's a two-level bridge. Lower level, going from west to east, is the lower level, and when you come into San Francisco, you come over on the top level, and this is courtesy of our friends at KABC, the ABC-owned and operated station here. And now there is a tug out there. This, I think Chris Myers is our West Coast correspondent, and come over to the other side, Chris, guys, because we're going to try and piece this together. You have been in L.A. for a couple of years. You've been through a few of these, so give us a first person. I know it's unscientific, and it's magnified when you're in the top. We're in the top of the structure. You were here in '87. What was the reading on '87?
Exactly, Bob. Well, I have experienced earthquakes, nothing of this magnitude. And when you're in a house or an apartment in Los Angeles, it feels, the way to describe it, like you're in a shoebox and someone is shaking it. This was different. We were in the highest section of Candlestick Park, a reserved press section.
6'5",
I'm saying, 6'5". They believed it's 4'5" or 6'4". Now they're saying 6'5". We also understand that because of the power problems, they may not be able to get the lights on here, although we have lights in the stadium to be able to play tonight. So that may be a reason that the game will be further delayed or possibly not even played.
Well, there are people who are seeing pictures perhaps like that who would say that perhaps there are other reasons to not play the game. Now, we have some ABC News footage of a fire which is occurring in Oakland. Apparently, let's take a look at it if we can roll that in, guys, as we're looking at net return.
There have been some refineries, too, that have reported some problems, fires breaking out because of the shaking and the earthquake, Bob. I don't know if that had anything to do with the refineries, but we saw that puff of smoke from the stadium across the bay just moments after the earthquake. The effect in the higher part of Candlestick was a swaying, rolling effect, and at first people thought, you were there, that maybe some noise or vibration, too many fans in one section. That's how it started, and when that feeling did not go away, then we realized it was the earthquake.
That is a live picture. Now, you can see there, that is a golf cart there. That is the lower left picture. That is the cart, I believe, that Commissioner Fay Vincent has been using to get around the park. The commissioner has some difficulty in walking, and so when he visits the ballpark, he does move around that way. There is obviously, is that San Francisco Police Department? It probably is. It is San Francisco Police Department there, or California Highway Patrol. I believe it's SFPD, and we have an aftershock. You can see it. You can see it. And we are feeling a shock right now, and that shaking in your picture is being amplified by the tremor that has just gone through the top of the stadium, and we are live. They are taking the bases off. 8:41 Eastern, 5:41, and we just felt it out here. We're at ground level. And now 6.5 Richter is what ABC is reporting this shock to be. And it is quite obvious now, that this is not it never has been a baseball story. It is much larger than the events going on at Candlestick. We will step aside, Chris Berman, Chris Myers, Bob Lee, and continue from our vantage point to piece together what is a major story that transcends the World Series and is apparently a catastrophe for Northern California. We'll be back.
Over its life, a Motorcraft battery delivers enough energy to light up a small park, like Candlestick Park. Shouldn't you install that peace of mind? Motorcraft quality parts from Ford. A Motorcraft spark plug has to fire 500 times a minute. Over its life, that's a spark 5 miles long. Shouldn't you install that peace of mind? Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
Liberty Mutual presents The Accident That Never Happened. Because as America's largest insurer for workers' compensation, Liberty Mutual has done more to help prevent injuries on the job than any other insurance company. Caring for people is why America believes in liberty.
Great view, huh?
America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Sunday, you could try watching every NFL game, but there's a better way. Start with ESPN's Emmy Award-winning NFL Game Day. Learn what to look for and why in the only hour-long preview of the day's action. Later, NFL Primetime showcases every key play from every game. The shows the pros would watch if they weren't busy. NFL Game Day and NFL Primetime, Sundays on ESPN.
We have more details now on the earthquake, which has hit Northern California, forcing the postponement of Game 3. Berkeley scientists are reporting as a 6.5 to 6.7 at the epicenter, which is approximately where 10 miles northeast of Santa Cruz. That is correct, Santa Cruz. We have confirmation on that. And that would be over again in the East Bay. South of San Jose now. South of San Jose is where the epicenter is being reported as a 6.5 to 6.7. We will have an extended edition of SportsCenter at 8:30 Pacific, 11:30 Eastern Time. Again, 5:05 Pacific Time. An earthquake now reported at 6.5 to 6.7. Striking apparently centered south of here in the South Peninsula. You've got some more details, Chris?
Well, Bob, I understand, and my memory serves me correctly, that in 1906, that was in the low 7s. This has got to be up there with as big a one as we've had since 1906 out here, but that famous earthquake and fire, 7.2, 7.3. But it shows you if it's that close, the magnitude of it. I guess we didn't realize it in the stadium. Actually, this stadium is the second oldest stadium in the National League. It was built in 1960. It was the first of the new ballparks. I think that actually Candlestick has gotten a lot of bad press, some deservedly so, some undeservedly over the years. But actually, perhaps it was built pretty well, because as we can tell, nothing happened inside the stadium.
We're okay, but apparently you can see dramatic pictures of places and people that are not doing nearly as well. Let's now bring you the Commissioner of Baseball, Commissioner Francis T. Fay Vincent, and his announcement on Game 3.
My judgment was we should postpone this game so that people could leave the stadium in an orderly fashion while it was still daylight.
It will be replayed here, sir.
Well, it'll be replayed. We have to look and see tomorrow what the circumstances are. I need to know a lot more than I know now.
Could one of the options be moving back to Oakland to finish the series if there's no damage there?
Well, we have a lot of options. There's no point discussing them because I don't know what the circumstances are.
You know, in Section 53 in the upper deck, between rows 18 and 19, there's a crack so big you can look into the bottom of the stadium.
Well, that's a fact that we need to focus on tomorrow. See, we will have the stadium thoroughly inspected, and there'll be no game here until we're sure it's perfectly safe.
Commissioner Fay Vincent. And again, we will have an update in 60 minutes at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. I should say 7 o'clock Pacific Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, an expanded SportsCenter at 11:30 Eastern Time tonight. That's 8:30 Pacific Time, as we again bring you the story of what has been reported initially, and we have heard nothing yet to contradict this assessment of the earthquake as the most powerful to strike Northern California since the earthquake of 1906. So again, Game 3 of the World Series is postponed.
contact is about to be made. A new dimension is coming where the language of symbols lets man and machine communicate logically. Presenting the Explorer, an extraordinary home computer designed to let you follow the on-screen graphic instructions so word processing, filing, and calculating are as easy as ABC. The Explorer, built to be compatible with us and them.
Basically, Apache manufacturing line was set up in a U-shaped.
A company of leaders.
Washington apple time. There's a whole new crop of Washington apples. Ripen new from the tree. Take a bite, come and find. Washington apple. Goodness, come and see. Come share a taste of heaven. Find as Mother Nature can grow. And your heart is gonna know. These are Washington apples. Sweet and true as apples can be. There's a whole new crop.
I went to my dentist with the worst pain. He told me about a different medicine. It's in these little yellow pills. Nuprin. Works so well on that pain, no wonder it's great on my awful headaches.
Nuprin. It's not aspirin, not Tylenol. It's ibuprofen. So effective, 2 Nuprin stop headaches better than extra-strength Tylenol.
And Nuprin's gentler on my stomach than aspirin.
Nuprin. Little, yellow, different, better.
It even worked on my worst pain.
You're watching ESPN, the Total Sports Network. This is a special presentation of Major League Baseball Magazine, brought to you by Fritos. ESPN presents Major League Baseball Magazine, featuring a storied journey back in the days when baseball went to war.
Pearl Harbor was bombed, and there goes my baseball career.
There were 274 Major League players in military service in World War II.
Something about the Navy, they if you're a ball player, they let you play ball.
My unit captured the Remagen Bridge over the Rhine River.
The fans here in this country want to see our national game continue.
You take your good talent out, a lot of your good talent is naturally going to weaken a little.
Ted Williams, what kind of records? Bob Feller, what kind of records would they have had they not been interrupted?
When I came back, I felt like, wow, what a great way to make a living.
This is Warner Fusel for Major League Baseball Magazine.
Presented by New Wild and Mild ranch-flavored Frito brand corn chips. Rustle up some.
Last week, us Fritos rustlers came upon a whole new breed. Ranch Fritos. They looked real wild, but they was actually sort of mild. Shoot, one even let Luke pet it.
These wild and mild ranch Fritos have a creamy ranch flavor. No Fritos rustler can resist. But keep that under your hat, partner. Wild and mild ranch flavor Fritos corn chips. Rustle up, son.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Charlie Steiner in the ESPN Sports Center. There will be no Game 3 of the 1989 World Series, at least not tonight. That announcement made just within the past couple of minutes by Baseball Commissioner Fay Vincent at a news conference at the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco, which happens to be the media headquarters. Francis Fay...
December 7th, 1941. The kind of day you don't forget no matter where you were.
I was at Balboa Stadium in San Diego watching San Diego Bombers play. The PA announcer asked all military personnel to report back to their bases.
And I was listening to the Washington Redskin Green Bay Packer game, I believe it was, It was a championship game, and they broke that game to announce that, and I guaranteed it sent chills right through me.
The announcement came on then that Pearl Harbor was bombed, and we're all wondering where the heck Pearl Harbor was at the time and all that.
I can remember that day. I'll never forget it.
I heard on radio that the Japanese had attacked Pearl Harbor. I said, oh, hell, you know, there goes my baseball career.
Getting into the service wasn't paramount in my mind. Still, I wanted to play baseball for sure. Now, I was a little different Bob Feller. He joined up 3 days later, and off he was.
Everybody knew we were in the war. It was a different kind of war. It wasn't Vietnam. It was a question of Germany, you know, to conquer the world. And there was no choice. Everybody joined up.
Over the next 3 years, lots of players joined the service. And though the uniforms were different, the game quite often stayed the same.
I was in the Navy, so I was sent to Hawaii, so we played a lot of ball over there. Something about the Navy, they if you're a ball player, they let you play ball.
For many servicemen, the battles on the ball field overseas were the toughest ones they'd face.
I wasn't in any life-threatening situations or anything like that, except maybe a bad infield or two.
It was all right. Well, I would have much rather been in some duty in the States, but there was a hell of a lot better duty than some of the other people had, too.
Road Handler treadlocks. Test them for 1,000 miles. If you don't agree they're the toughest tires you've ever owned, Sears will buy them back. Great low prices every day. Road Handler Tough. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
This Jeep Cherokee is doing the kind of four-wheeling that its competition isn't designed to do. Unlike Cherokee, the competition recommends shifting out of four-wheel drive on paved surfaces, which is unfortunate, since you never know when you might need it. But Cherokee with Select Track gives you the security of remaining in four-wheel drive on any surface. After all, doing what other vehicles can't do is what Jeep does best.
Build and shape our future, we invite you to learn the technology of tomorrow while you serve your country in the Navy of today.
What if the NFL's legendary teams could battle to determine football's best ever? It's no longer a dream. It's the most unique and revolutionary concept in television sports history. NFL Dream Season. Sunday, the LT Express collides with John Riggins. The 86 Giants battle the 82 Redskins. Sunday night at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Not everyone from baseball was playing baseball in the war. Some guys saw battle action, and those stories aren't so fond.
We were involved in the breakthrough of the Germans in Belgium, and then actually my unit was surrounded by the Germans, so we were in a pocket in the Black Forest. The Germans, when they made their breakthrough, had our equipment, our uniforms, even our dog tags. So that to show you how baseball is a part of Americana, the communication that we had among Americans was something like who played second base for the Bums. You know, the Germans knew about Brooklyn, they knew about New York and our lifestyle, but they didn't know our colloquialisms, and especially baseball. And I pity any guy that was an American soldier that wasn't a baseball fan, because now he's in deep trouble.
I was in the lead jeep of a patrol, and a sniper from a building shot from above, and the bullet went in the back of the steel helmet and came out the front of it, and it just scraped the helmet liner. And at the time, I just felt a tick. And I just slumped over like I was dead, and the driver went as fast as he could and went behind a building.
Because they were going to entertain the troops and all that sort of thing. But I wound up in the infantry instead. I never did get to go with him. But who knows? Only the good Lord. I might have been in that plane with him.
But providence was rare, and even those who did survive must live on with the nightmares and reminders begotten by the war.
I hate war, I'll tell you that. I think it's the dumbest thing I ever heard of. That innocent lives have to be so wasted.
The heroes didn't come back. The heroes are on the beaches in Europe or in the Pacific.
Winning has become quite routine for Jeep Comanche, whether it's under these conditions or any other.
Beer was brought over on the Mayflower and shared on the first Thanksgiving. Enjoyed by Puritans and pirates, it's figured prominently throughout our nation's history. Our founding fathers thought highly of beer. In fact, the Continental Congress made it a part of every American soldier's daily ration. Our first president had his own private recipe. Over the next 2 centuries, brewing grew with the country, earning recognition as an important American industry. Today, it's served on the tables of nearly 2/3 of our country's families and enjoyed by 80 million Americans every year. And from the very start, it's always been meant for responsible adults. Beer. It's a good part of the good life. A message from Anheuser-Busch. Build and shape our future, we invite you to learn the technology of tomorrow while you serve your country in the Navy of today.
Mark and Rennie and little Lindsay are a young family just starting out. They don't have a lot of money for life insurance. I'm their State Farm agent, Gaylord Moosman. Instead of giving Mark and Rennie a big life insurance sales talk, I did a lot of listening. And we came up with a plan that's going to work for their budget and little Lindsay's future, too. State Farm agents are good listeners because we want you to have life insurance you can live with.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When a record is set, a controversy brews, or a headline maker speaks out, there's only one place that brings it all together. ESPN SportsCenter. Get the inside information on all the major events that shape the sports world. Every story, every detail, every day. For the complete picture, go straight to the source. ESPN SportsCenter, America's sports authority.
This ESPN program is presented by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Let's keep sports going. Give the boys in the bleachers overseas a break. We like to root and cheer for our favorites just like we did before the war.
Well, I see no reason why sports should be discontinued for the duration because although we can't see the games out in the middle of the ocean, we get a kick out of hearing them.
During the war, America's resources were subject to strict rationing, but the decision was made to allow the country's top sports resource to continue.
While we have lost many of our star players, the armed forces overseas demand that we play baseball. The fans here in this country want to see our national game continue.
I think Roosevelt and Congress decided to let baseball continue because it was such a nice, relaxing sport for and recreation for all the workers who were working during those days. So baseball did continue.
There possibly was on several occasions people wondering why we were playing while this was going on. And yet baseball lost some of its greatest stars, and I think that was one of the reasons why the fans still came out to watch baseball. And they had to have some recreation going along with this terrible war.
But reminders of the war were always present, and though baseball continued, it did ration some of its long-standing traditions, eliminating the warm weather rite of passage known as spring training.
We were not able to travel. You had travel restrictions placed on you. So the Browns trained in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, which is about 100 miles south of St. Louis, at Southeast Missouri State College, University.
If he hadn't missed 3 years of his great years when he was pitching, why, he would have probably really set more pitching records than any pitcher that ever lived. And that goes for Ted Williams, too. You know, he's prime. He missed 3 years.
I might have got 100 more wins, and which I was averaging over 25 a year. And I was also probably come up with another 1,200 or 1,300 strikeout. I'm very proud of my war record, just like on my baseball record. I would never be able to face anybody and talk about my baseball record if I hadn't spent time in the service.
The 3 years I lost is the only thing that you can say. Hell, it was 9 billion guys that did, contributed a lot more than I did.
Beast in the basement again, and you know what that old furnace is going to do to your utility bills, but you don't have to let that monster upset your budget. Send for Tempstar's Home Comfort Guide. It's free consumer information about the savings you can obtain with a high-efficiency furnace. The Comfort Guide informs you so that you can make the right choice when the time comes to replace old equipment. Before you start that beast in your basement, start something that could save you money every month. The information is free, and so is the call.
We've been called the turnaround company of the century. We've come from a little fledgling New England company to national recognition with money in the bank, on the verge of explosion.
Peter Lyons gives very good business advice as a volunteer for the Boston Ballet over the last 5 years and as an agent for New York Life over the last 32 years.
Well, it means that we can envision our dreams by having Peter around.
New York Life, the company you keep.
Mr. Ian McKenzie. I'm Angus McKenzie. Ian's moved down the road.
Today, with service to 175 countries,
Oh, you'd been wanting Ian Alistair McKenzie.
UPS delivers to nearly 4 billion people,
Also for McKenzie.
including the extraordinary concentration of Mackenzies along the northeast coast of Scotland.
Mr. Ian Alistair McKenzie.
No trouble finding me, did you, lad?
No trouble at all.
UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
Nature's light, bathing fields of grain, enriching full, fresh hops, giving life to sparkling streams, nourishing all the natural things that go into making Bud Light. The light beer that's beechwood aged for a clean, fresh taste that makes Bud Light the one light that outshines them all.
You're watching ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
Well, I got Battlefield Commission, and I debated about taking it, and I thought that, okay, I'm going to take it because I'd rather go over to Japan to fight the Japanese as an officer. I'd have a better chance of coming back alive as an officer. And I never dreamed that we were going to drop that bomb. Yet my wife was working for DuPont, and she knew that we had that bomb, but she couldn't tell me because that's security.
The bomb would end the war in tragic fashion, but save the lives of many on the brink of invasion.
They sent us back to form squadrons and shake down a carrier on the way to Japan. They were going to hit Japan in October.
I was in the 3rd Marine Division when the war ended, and they were preparing to go into Tokyo, and the general there said, Pee Wee, I know you're not a Marine man. They had sent me over to kind of set up athletic programs because they had come back from Iwo Jima, and he said, we may take you into Tokyo with us we go in. I said, you don't have to, really.
The talk was that we were going to go be in on the invasion of Japan, so I was quite happy when I had seen that the atomic bomb had been dropped because it did stop the war.
The unexpected end of World War II naturally sparked celebration among civilians and servicemen alike.
When it was declared, I had a bottle of Irish whiskey, saved up for it, and I says, what a celebration we're going to have here.
Really, you had an idea it was going to end, but you didn't think it was going to happen that quick.
Probably one of the happiest days of my life was when I got to go home.
And upon returning to the States, these baseball vets turned battle vets looked upon their game in a whole new light.
When I came back, I felt like, wow, what a great way to make a living. That if I goof up, that there's going to be a relief pitcher coming there. Nobody's going to shoot me. And I think it really gave me the fortitude that maybe I lacked and maybe I would have struggled with the first couple of years in the big league.
And I think learning to fly an airplane helped me as much as anything. See, I was 25 years old, and you'd think your career would be over at that time. But I think learning to fly helped me through concentration, and it re-stimulated my ability to learn, I believe.
Being in the war like that it probably helped my managing. It made me understand the problems that young men have.
DiMaggio didn't have a good year. He didn't have a bad year. He didn't have a usual DiMaggio year.
But I just fell flat in my face. I don't know what happened. I just lost everything.
DiMaggio really was never the same player. He only had one big year after the war, 1948.
The boys come back, then they had to get back in the groove, you might call it. They had to readjust themselves, and some of them couldn't because they had defects. Something happened to them.
In retrospect, most baseball players did escape the deadly wrath of war, but there will always be the question of what might have been.
There were 274 major league players in military service in World War II. Out of 400. Only one was killed, and that was Elmer Gideon, the first baseman for Washington. He was killed in France in April 1944.
And it cost, I think, a Hall of Fame, probably election, so far at least, to Cecil Travis, the Washington shortstop, who was second in hitting the year Ted hit 400, was a real good hitting shortstop, third baseman, who came back from the Battle of the Bulge with frozen feet.
In the record books, it very seldom says anything about Hank Greenberg, Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams, and hundreds of other major league players, that they were ever in military service. And I don't think there's any, they say the heroes are the ones that didn't come back. But I think baseball did their share. But I think that they should continue to do their share by it being noted in World War I, II, Vietnam, and Korea, in all their record books, that the ones that served their country at that time. I don't think that's asking too much.
This is Warner Fusel.
Major League Baseball Magazine is presented by New Wild and Mild ranch-flavored Frito brand corn chips. Rustle up some.
Send up a crow's foot. Give me an applejack.
There's a place in the friendly skies where not everyone's so friendly.
Stop. Hold it. I need 3 hours minimum. Check it out.
Over 9,000 mechanics of United Airlines work here.
Give me a mini grinder.
They're picky, fussy, stubborn. But if you fly, they're the best friends you'll ever have. United, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
Coming up next on SportsCenter, the aftermath. As the Bay Area surveys the damage. And the baseball commissioner postpones the World Series.
We are obviously in the process of getting more data, more information about the state of disarray in the community. Obviously, there's been a substantial tragedy in this community, and baseball is not the highest priority.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Charlie Steiner. Welcome back to the ESPN SportsCenter. It's now 23 hours after the San Francisco earthquake of 1989. There will be no Game 3 of the World Series, at least not tonight, and some of the questions that remain following last night's devastating earthquake. Will they play again? If so, where and when? We begin our coverage now with Bob Lee outside Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Bob is reporting tonight with the aid of electricity powered by a generator. Bob?
Thank you very much, Charles. And we're outside Candlestick Park. I'm joined by Chris Myers and Chris Berman. Joe Torre will join me in a few moments. Yes, we will tell you about baseball, but more of the story today in the Bay Area is one of recovery. As you mentioned, 23 hours ago, San Francisco hit by the strongest earthquake since the one that devastated the city 83 years ago. And today in San Francisco and across the bay and down the coast in Santa Cruz, rescue and recovery efforts continue. The toll, 272 confirmed deaths, 1,400 plus injured, property damage incalculable. But San Francisco's Candlestick Park was spared, and with her, the tens of thousands who were here yesterday at Candlestick Park. This is a live picture, just several feet from where we are right now, and Candlestick Park, where last night 62,000 were on their way into this park waiting for Game 3 of the 1989 World Series. There are many questions. Where will they play? When will they play? We will talk about that. There are conflicting reports about whether they will play in Oakland. The Oakland A's have denied reports to that effect. Reports they will play tomorrow in Candlestick. There is no confirmation. Chris Berman shortly will have the full story on the condition of Candlestick Park. We will be joined shortly also, a live interview with Matt Williams of the San Francisco Giants to see how the National League champions are adapting to all of this. Chris Myers, you were there early this morning at the press conference when the commissioner made the decision that essentially was made last night about today, but there are many other questions.
There are, Bob. The commissioner will have a press conference within the hour by 5 o'clock Pacific time to update the situation. He hopes to have word on when the World Series will continue. In the meantime, we listen to rumors. He said that Major League Baseball does not have an emergency site per se, simply because of the two teams participating in the World Series. If one stadium or city has a problem, usually they go to the other ballpark, reverse the batting order, and that takes care of the situation. This is a very unique situation, tragically unique, and the commissioner dealt with it in an almost surreal atmosphere this morning, and this is the way it looked. At the Westin St. Francis Hotel near downtown San Francisco, candles were brought in for the commissioner's morning press conference. After being up all night in powerless surroundings, media members huddled for word on the World Series, something to hopefully take their minds off the tragic earthquake.
Well, we've made the decision not to play tonight. That's the only decision we made.
Fay Vincent spoke for a half hour with team officials from the A's and Giants about the possibility of the games being continued amidst a city surviving disaster.
It's a difficult time for San Francisco and indeed for the whole Bay Area. The great tragedy is that it coincides with our modest little sporting event here.
Tuesday, this was the scene outside Candlestick Park as players and coaches rushed through the clubhouse to seek loved ones and secure their safety. Today, reports showed no injury to players or their immediate families. As to Candlestick Park, well, that's still being surveyed, along with the Oakland Coliseum.
The early reports are that the damage to either place is not significant, but those are preliminary, and they have not been, neither stadium has been inspected by the proper engineers.
Speaking by candlelight, the commissioner would not speculate on an alternate site series, saying the priority would be to play the games in the Bay Area, but only after consideration to the mood of the community.
If you think about it, you'll recognize that if we play a game, we are going to be subtracting police and other government officials from other duties which may have a higher priority. I do not want to do that.
Again, at this hour, the commissioner is meeting with Bob Lurie of the Giants, Sandy Alderson of the A's, and city officials trying to work out when and where the World Series will continue, how soon it will continue. In regard to the alternate sites, we worked the phones that did work today, checking with the sites that were mentioned: San Diego, Anaheim, Dodger Stadium, and Seattle. The San Diego Stadium has a torn up, actually their infield, the dirt has been taken out. They have a football game Saturday and Sunday, so they have pretty much removed themselves from the situation. Both Anaheim and Dodger Stadium said their fields are not in the best of condition, but if baseball needed their help, they could be ready to play the series at those sites. And Seattle, the Kingdome, Bob, has nothing scheduled other than a football game Sunday, and in a matter of 12 hours, they can change that configuration from a football stadium to a baseball stadium. Again, only emergency backup sites should they not be able to play here.
We've talked to the A's. They've denied the reports about possibly playing games in Oakland right now. What is the latest you hear on the situation, the condition of the Oakland Coliseum?
I spoke with officials from the A's this afternoon. Their stadium, they say from the early reports, as the commissioner alluded to, withstood the earthquake quite well. No visible damage. The only damage they could see was outside where the basketball arena was. Some of the glass was knocked out. But because it's down in the ground somewhat, the stadium seems to be able, or will be able to handle baseball activities.
Educated guess? Baseball at Candlestick Tuesday or Wednesday next week. You take a week off, and then what you do is upstairs, as the community begins to get back together again, now you give them a big lift. To take the series out after life begins normal again would be another blow to the area. I think, my educated guess, we'll see tonight, Bob, maybe Game 3, Tuesday or Wednesday next week at Candlestick.
City engineer has to sign off on this, right?
Yes.
They've got bridges, they've got hospitals, they've got churches and schools to take a look at.
It's going to take 4 or 5 days to really survey that situation.
6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we are expecting the announcement about the World Series. Where and when will it resume? But one thing is certain, there are many fortunate people in the San Francisco area, that many of the earthquake-constructed buildings did perform as predicted. It has been a most remarkable day. Here's Charlie Steiner with a look back.
By all appearances, it was another beautiful early fall evening in San Francisco, as America got ready for the third game of the 1989 World Series. But at 5:04 local time, we would all be shaken and shocked.
To get Dave Parker at second base, so the Oakland A's take.
Tell you what, we're having an earth.
The fans in the stands remained calm. We and they thought the quake would be nothing more than an inconvenience.
Well, folks, that's the greatest open in the history of television, bar none.
But the players and their families were not taking the quake lightly.
You know, you just could hear the rumbling. You didn't know if it was the people in the stands or what, but, you know, all of a sudden everything started shaking and the blackout came and we all decided, you know, we got a big earthquake, let's get out.
Well, first of all, your primary concern is like, where's my family, where's my kids, my wife, you know, so, you know, the guys went out in the open area and then we started looking for our families and, you know, they say aftershock is coming, which is supposed to be just as bad as the quake itself.
Kind of puts things in perspective, makes you realize just the insignificance of a baseball game and the World Series, even though it's a big deal, but more important, lives and family, and that was my first focus.
When the time came and the power returned to Candlestick, stadium officials acted quickly.
Once again, today's game has been postponed.
The thing that's important that I want to point out is that we will not compromise the public safety for the purpose of having a baseball game. I think it's important that people know that the decision will be made by the individuals who are the experts in this field, and then at that time, something will be said.
And so Game 3 of the World Series was put on hold. The players and the fans left the ballpark, unaware of the devastation that would await them.
Store water, prepare for
aftershocks, prepare for 3 days of no services. You got 90 minutes of light left. You better make use of your time. Standing here ain't doing nothing.
Some fires raged out of control. The citizens banded together. But earthquakes in California are nothing new.
Looking at what's going on in California and what we know about the faults in the area, especially the San Andreas fault, it is not surprising that you have an earthquake of this size, magnitude 6.9.
California is susceptible to earthquakes, and so over the years we have developed more and more experience and more preparation.
But who could prepare for something like this? Interstate 880, totally destroyed. Hundreds of people killed on the elevated stretch. Rescue workers pulled victims from the concrete. The rescue continued on into the evening hours. Volunteers were there to help. Volunteers working through the night.
I've offered my services. You know, you had hundreds of guys out here ready to go to work.
And with the dawn of a new day, help would come from Washington.
There's a lot of interest out there in when you may be ready to sign this disaster declaration. Do you have a sense right now for the signing?
I've already signed it. Yeah.
Many grocery stores were totally destroyed. Some food shortages were reported in some areas. Homes and vehicles were crushed. The work on I-80 continued through the day today. Workers still looking for survivors. And at Candlestick, the inspection of the stadium continued. The fate of Game 3 still in limbo. All this on a Tuesday afternoon, a little less than 24 hours ago.
And many clocks all over the city, stopping at 5:04, 5:05 within a few minutes of that moment when that 7:0 or that 6.9 quake went through San Francisco. Chilling pictures. We'll continue. We'll talk live with Matt Williams of the San Francisco Giants. Joe Torre will join me, and we'll get the attitude of the teams as we await to see, several hours away from a decision, the status of the World Series and where it shall be played. We continue live outside Candlestick Park. ESPN's live coverage from San Francisco. No game tonight.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. We brew our fine quality beers to be enjoyed responsibly. Remember, know when to say when. And brought to you by Isuzu.
It's just a pure and natural beer for you. Some icy cold, so crisp, so clear for you. The king of beer, so fresh, so true for you. You got the taste, this bug's for you.
Who could ask for anything more?
Ask him if it has a 5-speed transmission like Isuzu.
Does it have a 5-speed transmission?
Well, I'm going to check on that. Ask him if it has a bigger payload than Isuzu.
Ignore him?
Or better mileage.
Does it?
Not exactly.
No! Ask him why it costs hundreds more than Isuzu.
Right now, you could save up to $700 on America's lowest priced import truck.
Road Handler Treadlocks. Test them for 1,000 miles. If you don't agree they're the toughest tires you've ever owned, Sears will buy them back. Great low prices every day. Road Handler Tough. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
The title's on the line at the last tune-up before the U.S. Open. See who becomes champion in the final of the Hamlet Challenge Cup. Sunday afternoon at 2 Eastern. Live on ESPN.
Live outside Candlestick Park. No game this evening. Game 3 of the 1989 World Series is on hold. I'm joined by Joe Torre. And Joe, we've got two ball clubs sitting in the same metropolitan area. Yes, concerned about the situation, but also anxious to play some baseball and anxious about the general community.
Well, Bob, you know, when World Series participants are in a World Series, families are always a concern. And they're in town. And at a motel some of the Giants are staying at, Will Clark and Rick Rutschel decided, let's have a barbecue for the families, for the coaches, for the manager. And I got some of the reaction today at this barbecue from some of the players and the coaches about the earthquake and its aftermath.
You know, we're anxious to find out what's going to happen, but obviously there's a lot more important stuff going on right now than baseball, and you know, our thoughts and prayers go out to those people who wonder where their family members are right now, but, you know, something will be done with the baseball part of it, but right now that's not our main concern.
Mentally, do you think what would it take for the players to get back into thinking about winning a ball game?
Well, I don't know, really. You know, that remains to be seen, you know, what it'll feel like to go back into Candlestick Park. You know, I know the first time we went back to Los Angeles after the earthquake and went back into the hotel, there was some very strange feelings that stir inside of you. So, I don't know, going back to Candlestick might be kind of tough for some guys emotionally, but, you know, I'm sure you're a ball player. You know, you get out there and the crack of the bat and the leather and stuff, and it kind of takes your mind off the bad things and you can concentrate on baseball.
You know, it gets worse as the time goes on. You start thinking about it, and you start feeling all the feelings over again. You feel very funny about it, and to play baseball, I imagine you'd go out there, but I don't know how much thought will be into getting the job done like you ordinarily would do.
You know, I think definitely the layoff's gonna hurt a little bit, just because it's hard to lay off 3 or 4 days or whatever, and especially the way we've had to. And I think it might slow the play down just a little bit. Everybody get their timing back, but I think once the game starts, everybody will be okay.
Well, I'm joined live, Joe and I, by Matt Williams of the Giants. Let me first ask you, do you guys know anything? What are the instructions that you folks on the Giants have been given about tomorrow, about Game 3?
Well, I got a call this morning from Dirk Smith, our traveling secretary, that informed us that we are to be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow, ready for a practice or a game. If, in fact, it does happen that we do have a game tomorrow night, we will play.
Matt, last night the concern with the family, I remember coming on the field after the game. I noticed your wife was very distraught. How tough was it last night for you guys?
Well, it was very tough. We didn't actually know what was happening on the field. It was kind of a strange situation. I think that I know talking to my wife and family that they thought the people in the upper deck were getting excited and stomping their feet when it first started, but then they realized that it was an earthquake and it was a pretty strong one at that. So we wanted to get them off the field, out of the stands and onto the field to the safest spot possible we could, and we did that pretty quickly.
And even though this is your home ballpark that we're sitting in front of, how safe would you feel if they said, crank it up, we'll play here on Saturday or Sunday?
I don't know. You know, I think that to reiterate that our baseball game is secondary right now to everything else that's going on. All the attention has to be focused to the tragedy that's happened here yesterday. So,
Matt, thank you very much for taking the time, and I'm glad to hear everyone is safe and sound with the Giants. And we'll get back to baseball. We just don't know where or when. That announcement coming at about 9 Eastern time, we expect. We'll continue SportsCenter live at the World Series, also covering the story of the earthquake outside Candlestick Park. We'll continue after this.
Committees are by nature timid, based on the premise of safety in numbers, content to survive rather than take risks and move independently ahead. Independence, then, has always been the attitude at Porsche. To do not what is expected, but what we feel is right. In the beginning, I looked around and could not find quite the car I dreamed of, so I decided to build it myself. It is sad, I believe, that so many creations today are just like all the rest. This is why Porsche must remain small and independent. Committees lead to creations that have no soul. This is why no Porsche will ever be created by a committee, but by a handful of people inside these walls who know what a Porsche is.
Just off Route 19 in St. Petersburg is a place where you can learn to ski the Alps and shoot the rapids all in the same building. At Bill Jackson Sporting Goods, you can practice everything from a stem Christie to an Eskimo roll. But if you go there, remember, bring your imagination and your Visa card. Because Bill Jackson doesn't promise you Sun Moritz, and he doesn't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
It's championship action that's right down your alley. The Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, Wednesday night at 10 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Welcome back to SportsCenter, everyone. The San Francisco 49ers, who've played 5 of their first 6 games on the road so far this season, have a home game scheduled this Sunday afternoon at Candlestick Park against the New England Patriots. The NFL has not and will not make any decisions tonight about that game, although it is expected a final decision about the location of the game will be made tomorrow. One of 2 or 3 possibilities: Candlestick, if it is indeed playable, or the possibility of Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto, even the possibility of the Rose Bowl. Those possibilities are still being discussed, and we'll all know a whole lot more when we find out about the condition of Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Bob Lee, I'm curious, out there in San Francisco, do you get a sense out there on the street that folks want the World Series to hurry up and start up again, or they have more important things to do?
It's really tough to gauge. Information, Charles, is about as wanted as drinking water at this point, and hot water in some sections of San Francisco and Santa Cruz, even down the coast, harder hit. I'd have to say no. From what I've seen from media reports, just from talking to the few people we've been able to, I get a sense there are many more important things. And I can't believe, as you hear the talk about the National Football League, I can't believe they're going to repeat the mistake they made in 1963. Upwards of 300 people, perhaps, when the final tally has been taken, were killed here. And there's a very deep sense in this community there are many more important things than baseball. And I get a sense from Fay Vincent, speaking with him last night and watching the press conference today, that baseball is very aware of that.
I know, Chris Berman, you were inside Candlestick Park this afternoon. Even if it is going to be declared playable, they're going to have to do a pretty healthy PR job. I mean, we've seen slabs of concrete and separation within the upper deck.
Charlie, this is I'm not a building inspector, but I've got to think that there are 4 or 5 days of serious examination before they can decide if the place is playable. Somebody has to sign their name and say, hey, everything is okay. They are checking every light, not only the 9 towers, 8 of which look fine, one there's a slight problem with, and they're checking that again. Every light, which may be, 600, 700 bulbs. That does not get done today. Now, I could be proven wrong tonight, but I've got to think that's 4 or 5 days. That is through the weekend. By the way, let me throw one thing else in there. I do not think, while the 49ers are yet waiting for tonight's decision, their options are A, Candlestick; B, they've done a structural examination of Palo Alto at Stanford today. I don't think the Rose Bowl is a possibility. I think C, in Foxborough. The foliage is nice there at this time of year, and of course the Niners are undefeated, but they cannot move the seats either, Charlie, for the football game. I don't think you'll see that at all. I'd be surprised if the Niners played it here before the Giants. That's just my educated guess.
Chris and Bob, we just have some word in now from Oakland Mayor Lionel Wilson, who met with representatives of the Athletics today. And this is his quote: "I told them that at this time it would be inappropriate to play baseball in this city while there are still bodies underneath the concrete."
That is exactly right. They are still pulling people out of I-880. I mean, we have we're still coping with this, all of us out here personally, with what happened, what could have happened. We were driving 880 all last week when we were based in Oakland, coming over to San Francisco, going to dinner, or coming over to work on stories. There's a very deep sense from a lot of people here visiting in the press there, but for the grace of God, could be us.
You're asking people to have structural analysis of a stadium before you have analysis of hospitals, bridges, schools. Not the case. You're asking policemen to work the games here who come from hard-hit areas in San Francisco or wherever they do live. However, I do think that emotionally, when, as I said before, that maybe a week from now, that will be an uplifting if the structures are okay. Not now. Baseball, not now. I don't see it.
We have to keep our priorities in order, and we will continue with this edition of SportsCenter. We'll go back to San Francisco in just a couple of minutes, and we'll have some other news of the day in sports after this break.
Think your new car is protected against rain, snow, salt? keep thinking. Today's unibody cars have hidden areas that will rust. They need state-of-the-art rust protection. That's why Z-Bart invented new Super Rust Protection. It penetrates seams and crevices, covers areas car makers, car dealers, and others ignore. Covers you with a lifetime warranty and free reapplications. New Z-Bart Super Rust Protection leaves all others in the rust. Now get $100 off the Z-Bart Total Protection Package.
A couple of other baseball notes now. Dallas, green or red? Well, the former Yankee manager says he has been offered the job to manage the Cincinnati Reds by owner Marge Schott, but he's not ready to commit. Meanwhile, Bob Quinn, the new GM of the Reds, says it's totally false that Green has been offered anything. In fact, says Quinn, no one has been offered anything yet. But Quinn, who's been on the job barely a week, says he has spoken with Dallas Green and plans to talk with him again. The San Diego Padres are for sale, and the reported asking price is something more than $100 million, which would be the largest amount ever paid for a baseball team. Joan Kroc says she wants to spend more time with her family. Among those who've expressed some interest in buying the Padres, Jerry Buss, who owns the Los Angeles Lakers, who says modestly he is in the market to buy a baseball team. Kroc says she won't sell the team to anyone who has any desire to move the Padres out of San Diego. We're going to take a break on this edition of SportsCenter, and as we do, let's take a look at tonight's schedule in the National Hockey League. We'll be back.
Drive a Volvo, because replacement parts are hard to find.
Me? Stain wood? That's a job for professionals.
Would you try a stain made for amateurs?
Well...
Czar Wood Stain.
Okay.
Other stains are made for professionals, but Czar Wipe-On Stain makes it easy for first-timers to get beautiful results. And Czar's controlled penetration gives you plenty of time to wipe off excess and avoid streaks and lap marks.
It looks great. My wife is gonna love this.
And for lasting protection, use Czar Clear Finishes. Buy Czar wherever quality wood finishing products are sold.
Some people think it's crazy to drive a car over 200 miles an hour. But I'll tell you what crazy is. Crazy is driving any car when you've had too much to drink. So please, don't drink and drive.
A message from Anheuser-Busch.
The Senior PGA Tour's top money winners are back in action for this first-time event, the Transamerica Senior Golf Championship, beginning Friday afternoon through the final only on ESPN.
Welcome back outside Candlestick Park. I'm Bob Lee along with Chris Berman. We are about, as we said, about 90 minutes away from the announcement we expect to be made in downtown San Francisco, about 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time, about the status of Game 3, where and when, and how far that decision, that announcement will carry us through, Chris. We really don't know, because this is a meeting at which the Commissioner, Fay Vincent, is going to meet with fire and city officials and get all the municipal reports and try and get a complete infrastructure picture and make a responsible decision.
I think one thing Bobby Baseball does not want to do is go day by day by day, but I think you saw in Chris Meyer's report this morning, Fay Vincent has it all in perspective of what's important and what's more important. I think I'm guessing now that this evening he will officially say no baseball tomorrow on Thursday, and then maybe tomorrow in the morning, West Coast time, they may have a decision on where they play, when they play. I think that way we will have some finality. We told you that they were checking every inch of Candlestick, and just a short while ago, just minutes ago, we told you they were checking every light bulb and light connection. You're seeing a man up there in the towers right now. By the way, there was a man up last night checking some lights. He was okay, except obviously a little bit sick last night when the earthquake hit. But this takes a long time to check a stadium that seats 62,000 people. But I think one thing we're all impressed with is it could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. And so for that, we're very fortunate.
Baseball has some decisions to make, and certainly appearances count. Appearances are reality. And to my mind, the reality, this area is in shock. It could be some time before we play some baseball. For Charlie Steiner back in Connecticut, and Chris Berman and Chris Myers and Joe Torre, I'm Bob Lee. Expanded SportsCenter coverage, 11:30 Eastern Time. We'll be back at that time. We'll see you then.
The test of a great airline is not just how fast it moves you in the air, but how fast it moves you on the ground. That's why at some of the busiest airports in the world, United Airlines offers you the most advanced baggage systems, faster ticketing and boarding procedures, and the most spacious, convenient, efficient terminals in the business. United Airlines. From the ground up, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
This morning's top business news stories are coming up next. You are watching Nation's Business Today on ESPN. It is 3 minutes before the hour.
This is the shop of Samsat Bazaar, a thriving establishment on the outskirts of Bangkok. Unlike other international executives, he has no phone system, no computers, not even a fax machine. He does, however, enjoy one modern and efficient service nearly 4 billion people in 175 countries today can take for granted. UPS. We run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
In a world of distractions and unexpected turns, a car should be like a friend you don't have to talk to. The Mazda 626 is actually engineered to feel just that way, resulting in an uncanny ability to make you feel in control. At the same time, it makes you feel relaxed. The 626 from Mazda. It just feels right.
Fuji videotape. Its only limitation is... Fuji videotape. It's... Fuji videotape. Its only limitation is... Fuji videotape! Its only limitation is your own imagination!
The fiber that's pound for pound, 5 times stronger than steel, and is used in this bullet-resistant vest, makes up the unique belt of Road Handler Treadlock radials. Great low prices, Road Handler tough. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
Only one from an elite field of 16 will earn a victory on the green at one of the most dramatic events of the year. See the final round of the Nestle World Championship, Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN.
Of some of our most well-known TV commercials.
6:30, babe. Time to head for Golden Light.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock.
What they all have in common, the incidences, he was asked to produce a TV commercial.
I was a good communicator in terms of politics, and that's a lot what...
What would you tell cats about Al Pope?
2, the man second.
Here's the type of animal Cinnabar has to start with.
What would you tell cats about Al Pope?
2.
Ooh, demand seconds.
In short, Cinnabar is a company where the impossible is possible. You want toast to jump out of a toaster? You got it. You want even fish to fly? No problem. In case you think this company is a mere flash in the pan, it's not. There's gold dust galore. $100 million a year company in the making. Far beyond Hollywood, Cinnabar's magic can be seen in this Florida freeway billboard, for example, or in theme parks at home and abroad. So renowned is Cinnabar in just 8 years, it is the official supplier to 1992's World Expo in Seville's Bruce Page, Nation's Business Today.
Take a look at the weather forecast throughout tomorrow morning to see what's happening in your area.
People in the central Appalachians are beginning to dig out from a mammoth storm that dumped up to 3 feet of snow in some places of North Carolina, and it brought snow and a deep freeze to Georgia, wiping out much of this year's peach crop. The foul weather is also blamed for a bridge collapse in New York State and flooding from Connecticut up to Maine. Traveler advisories are out this morning for the mountains of Virginia, West Virginia, and North Carolina, and the wet weather is likely to continue. More rain is forecast from Virginia to Maine. A cold rain will fall in Texas. There will be rain and snow in Colorado. Rain is also predicted for the Northwest. For tomorrow, rain continues in South Texas, in the northeastern states, and in the Northwest. The jet stream is influenced by a low-pressure system over eastern Maryland, bringing cool weather to the middle Atlantic states and the Northeast. Now for a look at how the weather is shaping up for our major cities across the nation.
When you're a company that makes building products, you get real familiar with trees. Georgia Pacific has known these trees for over 50 years. We planted most of them. You know them as our double-sanded Southern Gold plywood or our designer paneling.
But GP also has products like shingles, nails, gypsum, which don't come from trees at all. So whether the building supplies you need grow on trees or not, ask for GP. That's all you need to know.
Come on, let's get it right this time. The word is quality. It means trying harder, going that extra mile. Let's do it. MetLife, MetLife, service with a smile. MetLife, MetLife, go that extra mile. Q-U-A-D-I-L-Y. What's that spell? Quad Billy, Quad Billy, yeah! Quality, quality. Get Met, it pays.
There are a number of ways to get a safer ride, like always fasten your seat belt. And never ride on worn shocks and struts. They can allow your tires to lose contact with the road, resulting in a loss of control and braking. Get a new set of Monroe Gasmatic shocks and struts. They help your vehicle hold the road.
Hey, I feel safer already.
So do I. For a smoother, safer ride, America rides Monroe.
ESPN, the #1 sports network in America, celebrates 10 great years of sparkling sports moments. ESPN, first and 10.
The damage appears to be centered in 7 counties around and to the south of San Francisco. The quake was centered near Santa Cruz. That's about 75 miles south of San Francisco. One report says the town of Santa Cruz was practically leveled. The airport in Oakland has reopened, and a spokesman at San Francisco International says they hope to open for passenger flights in about half an hour.
You have been watching Nation's Business Today on ESPN. Nation's Business Today is a presentation of BizNet, a service of the United States Chamber of Commerce.
Success. Turn to Forbes for bold opinions and decisive reporting on management strategies that boost corporate earnings, spotting undervalued stocks for corporate takeovers, increasing your company's market share.
57% off the regular newsstand price. Get 18 issues of Forbes for only $28.95.
Fans, please.
Mr. Garfield, welcome to Embassy Suites Hotel.
My room.
Here you get a suite for about the price of a room at most Marriotts or Hyatts.
Beautiful. Don't change a thing.
The living room, sir.
Love what you've done with this room.
The bedroom.
This is great. I need my space.
And, of course, you'll want to take advantage of Embassy Suites' free breakfast.
Food.
Served every morning.
At Embassy Suites, you don't have to be a fat cat to enjoy the sweet life.
I resemble that remark.
Out in the Mojave, at 110 degrees, nobody thinks about NYNEX computer software and how NYNEX Field Watch helps Pepsi keep all 70,000 of their vending machines up and working. Nobody has to think about it.
Rainy nights aren't much fun, except when it's pouring inside. Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob Light?
United Airlines, from the ground up, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
The cloudy skies over the Killarn Country Club in Tallahassee. Again, the fourth and final round washed out. But what a great 54 holes of golf we had. A new course record, an 11 under par 61, recorded by Jim Carter the other day, and of course that bogey-free 9 under 63 by our winner Bill Britton yesterday. Bob Murphy has joined me now. Murph, I'm not sure we should even pay you this week. This has been so much fun for you. Bob's been getting up, going fishing every morning at 7 o'clock, a longtime friend of Jack Frazee, so you've really had fun here in Tallahassee.
It's been a terrific week. Sadly ends on a note of rain. However, take nothing away from Bill Britton. He played his way to win this championship.
$135,000 going to Bill Britton a few minutes ago, courtesy of the Centel Corporation. The Classic with a total purse of $750,000. Ronnie Black finishes up all alone in the second spot. He earns $81,000. Gary Hallberg had that bogey-free 6 under 66 the other day. He's alone in the third spot. He takes home a check for $51,000. And then Mike Reed, Bill Butner, Tom Pernice, all at 10 under par. You saw what they took home. Hale Irwin, Peter Jacobson, Tim Simpson, Kenny Knox, Tim Norris, Tom Byram, all at 9 under par. The Nabisco Championships, we will have live 4-round coverage from Hilton Head coming up that last weekend in October for you. Why are the Nabisco Championships such an important tournament? Money, lots of it.
We're talking $450,000 to the winner and $45,000 for last place, 30th place.
How long did it take you to bank your first $450,000?
And we're talking early PGA Tour days now. So let's not get into that.
But I'll bet you wish that there was a Nabisco Championship back then, eh?
Well, I'll tell you, it's fantastic. The Nabisco people, of course, have been very nice, and that tournament is something that the guys look forward to. We talked earlier about why does a tournament later in the fall? Why do we have such a strong field in Tallahassee? Not only is the golf course terrific here and the reception and the people in the town, but these players want to come here and earn a spot to the Nabisco Championship.
One of the great things about the Nabisco Championship also, they move it around the country from one of the great golf courses last year, Pebble Beach, this year at Hilton Head. We'll be there, live 4-round coverage that last weekend in October. Well, we're just about set to pull down the curtain on this Killarn Country Club for this rainy Sunday here. We'll come back and have some final thoughts as the final round has been canceled.
There's this point called flashover. Everything ignites at once. Temperatures hit 1800 degrees. If your air pack screws up or something else gives out, you could have a problem. They say we're in love with our gear. I'd say we're obsessed.
For over 75 years, people who depended on their equipment and their vehicles have depended on us. Gates, the world's most trusted name in belts and hose.
In your pursuit of the finer things in life, you can save up for a Jaguar XJ6, or you can choose a richly appointed, high-performance British luxury car that gives you what you want, somewhat ahead of schedule. The name is 827. Sterling 827. Now get $3,500 to $5,000 cash back direct from Sterling on 89 827s.
It's back. It's going, gone. That's out of here.
This and every sunset is brought to you by Michelob, proud sponsors of night games everywhere. Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob?
Stuart Hall introduces Executive Fax Paper, a cleaner, brighter fax paper that works in all popular machines. Executive Fax Paper by Stuart Hall. On sale now at retail stores everywhere.
Back at the rain-soaked Killarn Country Club, the home of the $750,000 Centel Classic. The skies just partly cloudy. They were dark purple earlier this morning when finally the heavens opened up and rain, lots of it, forced cancellation of the fourth and final round. But we'll take you back 24 hours ago to yesterday's third round. The man, Bill Britton, an incredible round, a 9 under 63, not a bogey on his round. Enjoy. A tie, Bill Britton and Ronnie Black, both at 12 under par. Gary Hallberg, Brad Bryant, Bill Butner, Tom Pernice all chasing. Hale Irwin right now 3 shots off the lead, along with Leonard Thompson. Here is Ronnie Black. Made the turn, 2 under on his round today. He had 5 birdies on the front side, Murph, and 2 bogeys.
Not an easy chip here. Once that starts going left, it'll rip down that hill. Terrific effort there.
109 yards away. And Bill Butner will have a great birdie try.
Right under the hole. Number 12's a good little par 4. Lake on the right, big bunker on the left.
You look at the career so far of Bill Butner. How emotional was his interview yesterday with Jim Colbert when he was openly discussing his future in the game of golf?
Terrific to watch. It gives you an idea of how he feels about playing. Slow down now. This one, watch his ball.
All right, Murph, let's check that leaderboard then. Bill Britton and Ronnie Black tied at 12 under par. Gary Hallberg in at 11 under par. A bogey-free 66 today.
This fall, the first leaves to turn are these for hundreds of brilliant, delectable, traditional, amazing ways to have fun. Call 1-800-VISIT-PA for your free guide to the dramatic, the unconventional, the enchanting. Call 1-800-VISIT-PA. Start your most incredible fall ever with your free Pennsylvania guide. Pennsylvania, America starts here.
Some business owners are closing shop.
with a little more peace of mind. Because helping to protect their property, their products, their people is an independent insurance agent who compared the options and recommended Kemper, the company that's been coming through for more than 75 years. Kemper Insurance, because you've worked too hard today to have to worry about tomorrow.
Relax. Start having more fun. Get your priorities straight. See you later, alligator.
What if the NFL's legendary teams could battle to determine football's best ever? It's no longer a dream. It's the most unique and revolutionary concept in television sports history. NFL Dream Season. Sunday, the LT Express collides with John Riggins. The 86 Giants battle the 82 Redskins. Sunday night at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
$135,000 plus goes to the winner tomorrow afternoon. Who will it be? Well, right now, Bill Britton and Ronnie Black are tied for the lead, enjoying that one-shot lead over Hallberg. Butner and Bryant and Pernice are all at 10 under par. Hale Irwin at 9 under, along with Leonard Thompson, Peter Jacobson, and Kenny Knox, and Mike Reed and Tom Byron. Mark Ely and Tommy Armour trailing right now by 4.
See the 100-yard marker right behind Bill. That's to the center. This may go in. A little more draw, and that's Eagle Town.
What a marvelous golf shot there.
Should easily send Bill to 13 under.
Kenny Knox and his birdie try to go 10 under par at 17.
Very slightly right to left.
Now, Peter Jacobson in the bunker. Remember, he just birdied at 17, and this is his 18th hole.
Peter's got 171 to the hole. He's got a 7-iron out going downwind. The ball is sitting well down in the sand. Got a bad lie. Boy, is this a good looking shot?
Those are the kinds of things you do when you're going to win, too, right there. Here's a look back from the tee. That's downhill back to the players. That lake in front is not in play. There's the view from the tee. As you can see, the player cannot see the green surface. The traps are pretty much away from the green surface. Well, he's got that lean going that says he's leaving it a little right. But it's not bad, Bill. As a matter of fact, it's on the putting surface. Pin high.
Bill Britton, your leader, 3 straight birdies at 11, 12, and 13. A one-shot lead over Ronnie Black, 2 up over Gary Hallberg. welcome you back. One shot off the lead. Ronnie Black, if this goes in, Bob Murphy could be tied for the lead.
Well, he gave it a healthy go.
Ronnie would tap in for his par to remain one shot off Bill Britton's lead. This was Butner's. Oh. So Bill Britton leads at 13 under par, a one-shot lead over Ronnie Black. Hallberg trails by 2, and let's go to the 18th.
Yep. Well, we're just here watching Peter Jacobsen go through with what he's working on in his swing thought.
Wait a minute.
I told Peter that he's swinging the club the best I've ever seen him, and I asked him how he got it in that good a shape, and he was just demonstrating his principles here. Peter, great putt you hit on the last hole. Rolled over air. We watch you make a couple birdies coming in with pitching wedge in your hand. It looks like everything's right, but nothing's happening for Peter.
That's right. I didn't really play very well the last 5 or 6 holes. I wasn't happy with the way I hit it, but the wind's swirling quite a bit, as you know. And I bogeyed 12 and bogeyed 15 with wedges in my hand. I was fooled by the wind on both. I hit it over the green at 12, made bogey, and left it on the front part at 15 and 3-putted from there. But the golf course is playing very difficult. There's a lot of respect among the players for Killarn Country Club. It's a fabulous golf course, and as you know, this is our last year playing in Tallahassee, and I wanted to play here because I remember playing here many, many years. I have fond memories of Tallahassee, and in fact, this is where we recorded our album. Payne and Mark and I recorded our album here.
Jake Trout and the Fish?
Jake Trout and the Flounders, that's right.
Flounders, pardon me.
But the golf course is playing tough, and I think I see that 12 or 13 right now is leading, and I don't see it going much past 16 to win, so I have to shoot a real good score tomorrow to have a chance.
Individual prize money out of a total purse of $1 million. The first place check, $175,000, and it graduates down to a fifth place check of $40,000. How about the individual standings then? Payne Stewart up on top, Tom Kite, Greg Norman, Mark Calcavecchia, and Steve Jones. We talked about the Nabisco Championships the last week in October at Hilton Head. We, of course, will have live 4-round coverage for you beginning Thursday, October 26th from Hilton Head. We talked to a lot of our friends in Nabisco in the last 48 hours, and Hurricane Hugo did not have its major impact there. Everything's fine as far as tourism is concerned. And we look forward to some wonderful hospitality and some great golf at the Nabisco Championships at Hilton Head. Of course, that Bob Murphy always enjoys going to.
Terrific course to play, and fabulous course for a championship of that stature, I'll tell you. Bill Butner left it way on the front. That's a long putt back up the hill.
Britton by 1 over Black, Hallberg 2 back, Butner trails by 3, along with Tom Pernice, and Irwin, Jacobsen, and 2 others trailing by 4. I'd like to welcome a very special guest right now, Mr. Bob Martinez, who is, of course, the governor of the great state of Florida, the great golfing state of Florida. How many tournaments do you have now in Florida?
We currently have about 16 top-of-the-line tournaments being played here in Florida. And, of course, we like to get more, and we're working on that, but it's a great industry for Florida. Not only is it good, I think, for the pros that come here, but it energizes the local citizens to play golf, and that's what we want as well.
As we check the leaderboard, Murph, I've got one for you. There are more miles of fairways in the state of Florida than of coastline.
Very interesting.
The ancient Egyptians paid tribute to the sun god, Ra, not to be confused with the god of night. Hoorah! Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob Light?
Daiwa Golf Clubs. Everything you've heard is true.
The struggle for excellence is the spirit behind running a business. It's the only way to run an airline. At Northwest, helping you do business is putting us on the fast track. In all we do, we're striving to jump the line from merely good to being great. Because being the best is the only thing we want to be.
Matthew, did you lose your razor? I can't get around my Adam's apple. Can't get around half your face.
Introducing the Slim Twin Razor System, with the slimmest cartridge to reach every place on every face.
How do I look? Ugly.
New Slim Twin from Schick.
Whole grain nutrition is important, but only one of these leading cereals has it. Only Wheaties is made with 100% whole grain. Just ask Michael Jordan. Better get your whole grain.
Betty to Wheaties.
You're watching ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
Black looking at a birdie putt that might have tied him for the lead. Now needs this to stay one off the lead.
And a tricky little putt. We saw Brad's ball break very quickly. The grain is running from the right to the left. Putt goes the same way, downhill. Must be firm, and you really don't want to downhill.
Nice putt. Bill Britton, our leader, chance to increase his lead to 2. Is it enough? Yes! Putt. Bill Britton, 3 birdies in a row. 11, 12, 13, a par at 14, and now a birdie at 15.
What a putt. That is some terrific putt. That is right uphill. Just very hard to get the ball to the hole.
So a 2-shot lead over Black. 3 up now over Hallberg. Gary with that bogey-free 666 today in his third round. Irwin, Jacobson, Thompson, Knox, all at 9 under, along with Tim Norris and Mike Reed and Tim Simpson and Tom Byram and Bill Butner and Tom Pernice. Watkins trails now by 6. America's largest concentration of original plantations, over 300,000 acres, 71 plantations still exist in a 25-mile radius around Tallahassee. The oldest remaining residence, known as the Columns, built back in the 1830s.
You know, Thrifty Car Rental has variety for everyone.
I can rent a new car from Thrifty and save money. Oh, yeah.
Enjoy great luxury and great savings at Thrifty. Rent a new Chrysler New Yorker, just $36.95 a day with a 7-day advance reservation.
Thrifty, a lot of car rental company for incredibly little. Call 1-800-for-cars and away you go.
Here's our leaderboard. Of course, a big college football game tonight on ESPN. West Virginia, the Mountaineers, up against the Pitt Panthers. I guess we're all going to congregate in Colbert's room for that one, Murph.
All right.
So I'm telling you, understandably so, but you got to be a little tougher.
That's exactly right. He could have hit that tree and bounced straight down and had a chip out or something, but bounce back in the water and you make triple. Bad break on a bad shot. I don't know which is worse.
It's the combination that'll kill you.
That's right.
And a little river there, but finally it drops in. 2 off the lead for Ronnie. Ed Fiore has just birdied at 18. He's in at 8 under par. And as we check that leaderboard, John McComish finishes up eagle birdie, and he goes from 4 under par to 7 under, 7 off the lead.
It will be the most ambitious project in NASA history. It will launch colonies to Mars and man into the 21st century. Yet the NASA space station will not be directed from Houston or Cape Canaveral, but instead from Reston, Virginia. Call us and we'll tell you why. But beware of the time difference. For although it's 1989 where you are, in Virginia, it's 2001.
The Betonics Gore-Tex Classic Golf Shoe can keep you dry on this course. Think what it can do on yours. Betonic Gore-Tex. Fully breathable and guaranteed waterproof for life. In 1.3 billion years, our sun will burn out, leaving us in total darkness. We say it's never too early to stock up for the big night. Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob Light?
Stan Utley. 2 birdies, 2 bogeys today. 8 under par, even par round going for Stan. Good tournament, Murph.
You bet. He's having a terrific year. He went to the Q school 5 times and never made it, so then he wins this year. He's a very happy boy.
This is the lie of our tournament leader, Bill Britton. And that was his shot to within 4.5, 5 feet from the flag. Looking at his par putt. Second this year at the Hardee's Golf Classic out of Red Bank, New Jersey for Bill. How big would a victory be for him?
Would be terrific. He finished second. He got beat in a playoff. Hal Sutton beat him for the Disney Championship one year. This is not a real hard putt. Nice and firm. Good roll. Terrific roll.
Very nice par, and his 2-shot lead secure for the moment.
Where he did, you're not always going to have the availability of getting the ball on the green.
Very narrow.
And safely in. Bill Butner, by the way, made his par putt to stay at -10. Greg Ladehoff made a birdie. He's now at 7 under par. So it is still Bill Britton by 2 over the field in this 3rd round.
Introducing the totally redesigned 1990 4-wheel drive Toyota 4Runner. Now the additional performance from its available V6 is combined with additional comfort, additional necessities, and additional doors. Where you go in your new 4-door Toyota 4Runner is your concern. Getting you back is ours.
At most hotels, it's obvious who controls the remote control. But at Budgetel, every room comes with a big Zenith color TV.
Yeah.
Free Showtime, CNN, ESPN, plus a remote control that you control. Next time, stay with Budgetel. Call 1-800-4BUDGET today.
At the par 5 17th, 214 yards away, Bill Britton's second shot.
And we heard him make a little noise there, and he caught it in the heel, and boom, in the bunker. Shouldn't be too bad there. He approached. Really rapid. Tom knew it.
That picture really says it all. Our leader, Bill Britton, at 15 under par, enjoying a 3-shot lead over Ronnie Black. Well, it's known as the greatest college show on earth, the Florida State University's Flying High Circus, established in 1947. It's the first and most prestigious big top student circus in the U.S. and also has performed all over the world. The Seminoles Flying Circus.
There are places in this country where the night can last for up to 6 months. Some guys have all the luck. Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob Light?
Brad Bryant has gone bogey, birdie, and he's looking at this third shot at 16. 7 under par. Good-looking shot, Murph.
Go ahead.
Yes!
Oh, that helps.
8 under par, back-to-back birdies. Brad Bryant back into the hunt.
That helps.
Bill Britton continues to lead by 2. Hallberg, a bogey-free 6 under 66, trailing by 4. Reed, Butner, Pernice, all 5 shots back. Byram at 9 under par, along with 6 others.
Boy, Billy Britton has just jumped right out and taken control here. He's I don't recall seeing him play so aggressively. Really putting the ball well, too. So
how about 8 birdies today and no bogeys?
I know it. He's going to be strong tomorrow.
Bill Butner, 10 under par, 5 off the lead, 2 holes left. His third shot at 17.
Again, the long bunker shot. Green goes away from him, so want to land it about halfway to the hole. Go down now. Go down now. Not bad. Bill Butner's played in 25 events this year and won 63,000.
Bill Britton, he's got a 2-shot lead over Ronnie Black when we come back.
Gary Player, international Grand Slam winner and golfing legend.
Hi, I'm Gary Player. There's no swing that's right for everyone, but there is a swing that's right for you. I'm going to help you find it, and we're going to show you the fastest 5 ways to shave strokes off your game. You can have a championship grip and hit through the ball every time. I'll teach you the secrets of the short game. How to lose your fear of sand traps, how to maximize bad lies, and how to play more aggressive golf. Let me coach you to great golf with my new video.
Call 1-800-468-2100 for your 90 minutes of personal instruction with Gary Player. Thousands of these tapes have sold for $79.95. But for a limited time only, you can have Gary Player on golf for just $29.95. Save $50. Order now. That's 1-800-468-2100.
Back at the rain-soaked Killarn Country Club, the home of the $750,000 Centel Classic. The skies just partly cloudy. They were dark purple earlier this morning when finally the heavens opened up and rain, lots of it, forced cancellation of the 4th and final round. But we'll take you back 24 hours ago to yesterday's 3rd round. The man, Bill Britton, an incredible round, a 9 under 63, not a bogey on his round. Enjoy. Well, in a little over 24 hours, the prize money out of the total purse of $750,000 will be distributed. $135,000 plus goes to the winner. And we have got a real logjam. So far, there are 7 golfers in at 9 under par. Mike Reed's in at 10 under. Gary Hallberg's in at 11 under par. All chasing Bill Britton, who's on his 54th hole right now.
Ooh. Stan Utley had a little go at that. Now, with all our expertise, we examined this putt, didn't we? Bill just walked in there, gave it a swat. Looks like it's too far right here. However, he made it again.
Just a stroll in the park. 16 under par, a 3-shot lead, a 9 under 63 today, a bogey-free round, and your leader right now, Bill Britton by 3 over Ronnie Black.
Rainy nights aren't much fun, except when it's pouring inside. Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob Light?
That number 16 in red belongs to Bill Britton as he checks his scorecard. A bogey-free round, a 9 under 63 today. He's your leader by 3 right now, paired with Stan Utley, who finished up at 8 under par, quickly to Ronnie Black.
This is Ronnie's 3rd shot out of the right rough. He had to chip out. He's got 200 yards. 4-iron out of the right rough.
Go. Go. Hit it a little heavy. At least it's left to the bunker, I believe.
Left to the bunker, well short of the green. Not a bad pitch, however. He was blocked on his tee shot there, Jim.
I mean, blocked as blocked can be. He had hit a low, little short chip out, and that was even a tough shot.
Meanwhile, at 16, Tom Pernice paired with Jim Carter, the day's last twosome. Birdie try. Runs it about 4 feet beyond.
Goodrill still giving it a chance.
Bill Britton, a 3-shot lead. Great round today to go with his opening 71 and yesterday's 66. Red Wolves, Red-tailed Hawks, Florida Panthers, and other fascinating wildlife reside at the Tallahassee Junior Museum's 55-acre natural habitat. In addition to the wildlife, also displays that reflect the rich history of North Florida, including the 19th century Big Bend Farm.
I was born in 84.
Scott Hope looked like a man on a mission all week.
Right, he's about 5 now, and when he was about 2.5, he was limping. The doctor was concerned. As soon as they took the x-rays, they put him in the hospital that day, and he was at Arnold Palmer's Children's Hospital.
I'd say this is a makeable birdie putt. He's got it lined up just on the right side.
You're afraid of the worst. They were not ruling out cancer. Actually, it seemed to be leading towards that. They finally did go in and do a biopsy on it. It was something that was treatable. Luckily, the doctor came out of the operating room and told us that it wasn't cancer.
Scott Hope has won the 1989 Las Vegas Invitation.
And that was just the happiest day of our lives.
They helped us through it, and they need the money, so I'm going to donate $100,000 of what I won today to the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital in Orlando. Thank you.
I'm just so thankful just to be able to help other people because they helped us.
You ever notice what you get first when you rent a car at most airports? A bus. So why not go where you can rent a new car and save money? Take the bus to Thrifty Car Rental.
Enjoy great luxury and great savings at Thrifty. Rent a new Chrysler New Yorker, just $36.95 a day with a 7-day advance reservation.
Thrifty, a lot of car rental company. For incredibly little. Call 1-800-for-CARS. Who's he doing now?
Along with Bob Murphy, Jim Colbert, and Terry Deal, and all our ESPN golf team, welcome back to the $750,000 Centel Classic. Bill Britton with that bogey-free 9 under 63, leads by 3 in the clubhouse at 16 under par. You heard the siren sound when Bill was just about lining up his putt as you were looking at Ronnie Black. And what would a golf tournament be for us, Murph, without lightning and thunder and rain? I mean, we lost a whole round in Indianapolis and the whole tournament in Charlotte with the hurricane. We've been snake bit with bad weather.
We have had our share. It's been incredible.
Murph, watch the shot that Ronnie plays here. Most of us would run it all the way. He's going to pitch it most of the way in the air. He's done this several times today. He's trying to avoid that grain on those Bermuda greens, and it's well done there.
Yes, it is.
Now, Ronnie Black. A birdie at 16, a bogey at 17, 4 off the lead.
Left center, just perfect.
And that it is.
Well, from Bob Murphy, a former Gator, to another former Gator. Bill Britton in a 9 under 63. Terry's got it.
Billy, strong round today. You only birdied half the holes. You got to be feeling very good about your position and how you played today.
Well, I do. I feel great. It was kind of one of those magic days. I've been hitting the ball well, and I hit it good again today, but, I didn't hit it real close to the hole, but I made a bunch of putts.
I know right now you're at the top of the world. I mean, you and your wife Isabel are expecting a baby in December. You just got through shooting 63. But since 1982, when you finished second at Disney, it hasn't been a bed of roses for Billy Britton. I know what you've gone through. You worked for an old friend of mine, Bobby Hines, at Old Oaks. Took a stint as a club professional. Gone through the tour school a couple times. It's been a pretty good struggle out here for Billy Britton.
It has. I played pretty well my first 2 years, golf that I was pleased with. And then I played awful for 3 years, and I lost my card. And as you said, I went and worked as an assistant pro back in New York, and I came back out and played reasonable in 87, though lost my card again, and I've played well the last 2 years. So, I'm very happy with where my golf is now, but I did take a little hiatus for a while.
Well, Billy, we also have a couple other mutual friends that we were discussing who've been instrumental in your resurgence back in New York. Would you like to talk about those guys?
Well, both Jim Albus and Jim McLean have been a big help to me. Jim Albus, I've known him for years, ever since I started playing, and he's always kind of taken me by the hand, sort of. And when I was off the tour in 86, I got to know Jim McLean a little bit better, and they've both helped me quite a bit.
Billy, this is a big time, but what is going through your mind tomorrow? What does Billy Britton need to do to have everything ready for tomorrow?
Well, I need to do, I think, what I try and do every day is just play your best, one shot at a time, do my best in each shot, and just relax in between shots. And, this isn't a usual position for me, but I'll just try and relax and eat as much as I can tonight and have a good sleep.
Well, Billy, continue good luck. I hope this carries over for you, and best wishes to you, your wife, and your expectant baby. Thank you very much. Back to you, Cal.
Billy began his golfing career when he used to sneak under the fence at a public golf course near his home in Staten Island, New York. He's the leader by 4. Bill Britton right there. Let's check that leaderboard again before we come back to Tallahassee with the threat of a storm hanging high over the clouds. A 4-shot lead for Bill Britton.
Okay, Joe, time to take 5.
Time for some Wrigley Spearmint Gum.
Professor, does this always happen?
What?
He's thinking Wrigley Spearmint is pure chewing satisfaction. It's cool and refreshing.
Ooh.
The chewing enjoyment goes on and on.
It can only mean one thing.
What?
A Wrigley Spearmint is pure chewing satisfaction. They read my mind. Wrigley Spearmint is pure chewing satisfaction.
Virginia has what every high-tech company needs. A customer. Our AAA bond rating is drawing lots of button-up companies to Virginia. Nautilus moved to Virginia on the strength of our workforce.
Brad Bryant talking to himself. He says, I got one more chance to shoot even par.
Let me out here, Murph. Did you hear that, Murph? Every time he's walked by me on 17, 18, he says, I got to get back to even. I got to get back to even.
Yeah.
It's going to be his A effort here.
He's talking to his caddy, Murph, there. He said, help me out here, Murph.
He's really swung pretty well today. He's hit a lot of good shots, but you got to control your emotions. He gets a little too high and a little too low, and he wastes shots. And that's critical in this league.
I'll tell you, Jimmy, I saw something today I've never seen. I saw Bob Murphy give a putting tip to Chris Perry over the lunch table. They weren't on the putting green, on the lunch table.
Yeah, and the odd part is Perry was listening. Murphy was doing it with salt shakers.
Come on, even.
You sorry.
Whoops. He missed it.
I don't think
there goes even par.
I don't think he liked it.
You got room.
All day a battle.
I think our mic's a little too close for him.
Well, that's emotion. It's a part of the game that we all live with. We all understand.
I'm glad they didn't have the mics that close when I was playing.
As we check some other scores, Keith Clearwater, a former winner here in Tallahassee, and Tony Sills at +1. At even par, Donnie Hammond, Bob Lohr, Jim Hallett. And at 1 under, Bob Gilder, David Frost, David Peoples, Rick Fair, Joel Edwards. Keep in mind the cut was 2 under par.
And he started it right, and that will not come back.
So we have just one twosome left out on the golf course right now. They're all battling for one.
Jack's back. Jack Nicklaus voted the player of the century. Jack set new records with his best-selling video, Golf My Way, hitting the shots. Now he follows through with a brand new winner. Jack Nicklaus Golf My Way 2, playing the game. Using super slow motion, Jack takes you through 60 self-contained lessons. You'll learn approach techniques that can cut strokes off your game, the right clubs to choose, and the best ways to use them from awkward lies, rough, and sand bunkers.
I made Golf My Way 2 to help lower your score and add more fun to your game.
Jack will show you how to make the game-winning shots that made him the player of the century. And that's not all. You'll learn all of Jack's winning ways from Jack Nicklaus Golf My Way 2, playing the game. Over 2 hours of instruction for only $85 on VHS or Beta video cassette. Call now, 1-800-321-5400, and you will also get Jack's best-selling Golf My Way book absolutely free. Call 1-800-321-5400. This offer is not available in stores, so call 1-800-321-5400.
Today's coverage of the $750,000 Centel Classic has been brought to you by the Centel Corporation, the telecommunications company where people connect. And by the state of Virginia. We're doing some of America's most exciting work. From sunny skies and flowers to partly cloudy rain showers, the final round again has been canceled as we welcome you back to Tallahassee and the Killarn Country Club. As we welcome you back, Bob Murphy's alongside. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly. We hope you enjoyed yesterday's scintillating golf. Two very deserving winners of this Centel Classic. First, the United Way of Leon County, and, of course, Bill Britton. Murphy, you've got some thoughts on the growth of the tour.
Well, I think especially this tournament, I was thinking that 1969, our first event here, we played for $25,000, and this week we played for $750,000. That's only one of the reasons we hate to leave.
Leaving will be a problem for some people, too, because we understand that flights are overbooked and the airport's really a mess, so you'll probably have to stay another day and go fishing.
With pleasure.
Don't forget, a reminder that our ESPN golf team will hit the highway and hope you'll join us next week, live 3-round coverage of the RJR Championships, the richest event on the Senior PGA Tour. We'll be at Tanglewood up in Clemens, North Carolina. Our thanks, of course, to Jack Frazee, the chairman and the chief executive officer of the Centel Corporation, and Lon Fellens, the executive director of this Centel Classic. It's been a great week here in Tallahassee for the tour and all of us at ESPN. There he is, your winner, 33-year-old Bill Britton out of Staten Island, New York. A 71 Thursday, a 66 on Friday, and that 9 under 63 yesterday. He wins his first tournament. For Bob Murphy, Jim Colbert, Terry Deal, and all our ESPN golf team, I'm Jim Kelly. So long, everybody.
You're watching ESPN, the Total Sports Network.